Hey guys, Mike here. Welcome back to One Man Op Fishing. Today I'm just going to do a short video on this topic. A bass will eat almost anything, okay? And that's what we're calling the name of this video, is a bass will eat almost anything. Now what do I mean? Why am I talking about a bass will eat almost anything? Well, there are thousands of YouTube channels, I don't know how many dedicated to bass fishing, but a lot, okay? One of my favorites is Tactical Bassin'. These two guys really know the inside outs of all the different baits. It's like they spent their life fishing these different lures and baits, from stick baits to crankbait, you name it, they cover it. And they give you a very forensic analysis of them, which brands they like. And of course they're trying to sell stuff, because down below they put all of that in their link, which I have no problem with. Listen, if you see something on their channel you like, I'm sure in the future I'll probably have something down below for the 5 or 6 things that I use, just in case you're watching and you say, I'd like that. But I digress. Today is about the fact that a bass will eat almost anything. Another one of my favorite channels is the North Dakota Yak Angler. He's great, got a real soft voice, the opposite of mine. He fishes for largemouth in the summer, smallmouth, musky, pike. And he did a video, I think it was last year, where he converted a Chewbacca Lego, literally a Chewbacca Lego that he had, I guess, as a kid. He's probably in his late 20s, early 30s, this guy, into a lure. It floats, he put a hook in it, okay? And he was casting that out and catching smallmouth on it. Why? A bass will eat almost anything. Now, what's the point of all this? Well, don't go out if you're just getting started. It's different if you're a professional angler, obviously. You need 5,000 different lures and baits in all different colors and sizes, because a lot of these guys not even sure where they're going to be fishing. You know, some of these shows, they have no advance notice. They don't know if it's going to be clear water, murky water, cold water, hot water. You need to have that array. It's like being an auto mechanic. You need all the tools. You're not going to be taking a car apart with an adjustable wrench, okay? You need all those tools. You need 25 or 30 rods all rigged up so you don't waste all that time. But because a bass will eat almost anything, stick to the basics. I'm flat out telling you, more bass, more large bass, more state breakers have been caught on the regular old, now I'm just holding up a stick bait. This is the Yum Dinger, okay? But any soft plastic, whether it's a stick bait, a worm, a trick worm, a Charlie's worm, gambler worm, okay? A crawdad. I like the lizards, although I haven't fished with a lizard in a long time. You know, it's got the little arms and the tail. They all mimic something. But the bass doesn't see that and go, oh, there's a lizard, let me eat it. You know, a bass only has a brain about the size of a lagoon, you know, so very small, and they still outsmart us most days. So if you're just getting started and you find all of this overwhelming, just remember, a bass will eat almost anything. So start with the soft plastics. Become good with the soft plastics. This is the #1, the stick bait, the Cinco, is supposedly the #1 bait in the world. They fish them everywhere, in all kind of conditions. And if you watch any of the fishing shows, you'll see a lot of these guys, especially spawning bass, they're catching them on either Texas rigged, or they're wacky rigging them and dropping on the bed, and the bass just kill them. So stick with something easy like this. You Texas rig it, you get yourself a medium heavy action pole, 7 foot or better, you get yourself a decent $50, $60 reel if you're getting started, some 15 or 20 pound fluoro or mono, very inexpensive, and some hooks, some weights, and some stick baits or some worms, and you're good. You know, I've caught thousands of bass on, this is an old banjo minnow, and it's a gimmick bait. You know, I bought it way back, I was in my 20s, I guess, but they worked. You know, the biggest problem is the hooks are kind of chinky. You know, it's not a high quality setup. If I could buy some Gamakatsu or Owner hooks for this bad boy, and I probably could find something, you'd be slaying them. But this is a pretty cheap hook. But the idea was simple, you know, take the spine out of the fish, and this thing's got very erratic action. It's very much like a jerk bait, you know, one of these soft plastic jerk baits. But caught a lot of bass on this. Now, my friend Joe over at Parabellum Fishing, we were talking a few fishing shows back, and he said he ain't never caught any bass on these. So I'm going to take his if he still got them, because these original ones, you know, I used to fish them in heavy cover, drop them in a lily pad and just jerk them through real easy. The rubber band goes between, works fine. Okay, Heaton torpedo. If I don't jam it in my finger, a bass will eat this. What does this look like? Piece of plastic's what it looks like. It's got the little propeller tail. And if a bass was really smart, he'd recognize that these are treble hooks. But he's not that smart. But, getting him to bite's a different story. Okay, you got your medium diver here. This is a Rapala. Again, looks like a bait fish, kind of looks like a shad or a shiner down here. Bass will eat that. This is my new Kevin Van Dam. I've caught some peacock bass on this. It's yellow with the black. It doesn't really look like a bluegill. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be imitating exactly. But again, you can catch bass on that. And of course, the frog. Topwater frog. My point is all of these look different. Some are soft, some hard as a rock, others have no spine, others are a gimmicky type bait, and they all will catch fish. When I first started fishing, we used live shiners because I was just a little kid, 4 or 5 years old. I'm holding a pole out there in the Everglades at Sawgrass Recreational Park. Just wanted to reel the fish in. Then as I got a little older, you see other people fishing. And so my first bait down here was Charlie's worm, soft plastic worm, 7-inch with a little curly tail. You could catch bass on that year-round in Florida. I can't speak for other states, but again, soft plastics, #1 baits in the world. They're the least expensive. They're the easiest to fish. You can fish them in just about any kind of conditions, and they will consistently catch bass because a bass will eat almost anything. So listen, don't make yourself crazy. Don't be overwhelmed by all the baits out there. I had friends that whenever anything new with a stereo came out for their car, they had to have it. The loudest speakers. And I know those people are beyond help. If you're one of those people who as soon as the Guggen squad comes out with a new bait, you got to have 3 of them, hey, then spend your money on that. It's your money. But you don't have to. There's no reason for it. My tackle box, you guys have seen it in my past videos. Everything I own is in that tackle box. Literally, there's nothing in my garage. It's in that box and in the back of my car. I can go anywhere, pull my 3 or 4 poles out. I can fish a soft plastic. I can fish one of these crankbaits. You don't need 5,000 lures. You don't need 500 lures. You could get by on 50 and pretty much catch bass in any condition. Might be a little harder if the colors aren't perfect, but if the bass are biting, they'll bite and they'll eat just about anything. So that's today's video. I hope you found it at least a little entertaining. If you get a chance, go and pull up that video from the new North Dakota yak angler where he's fishing the Chewbacca lure. It's great. Again, it's a little bitty thing and he's catching smallmouth on it because they're aggressive as hell. I don't know if you could catch a largemouth, but maybe top water. So that's all for today. Mike here with One Man Op Fishing, and I'll see you guys on the next fishing adventure. Have a good one.